Hello everyone. Have you ever asked yourselves how could the entire plot of ISOTOILET series turn out if a few very important details were completely changed or reversed? I often give you videos about alternative episode endings or future events, but what about the actual beginning? So let's imagine a scenario where ISOTOILETs were highly intelligent since the earliest episodes. G-Man followed different battle strategies and had another design, and most importantly, the Titans never existed in this universe. How would the events unwrap in these conditions, and would the Alliance actually manage to win the war without their biggest assets? Now, if you're interested to know how this plotline would even work, then get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end because it's going to be really cool, and let's go! And don't forget to also give this video a like and subscribe to my channel where I make a lot of entertaining content while you are waiting for the next episode to get released, and visit my Discord server. Okay, so if you are subscribed now, let's continue. And let's start with the hottest thing first. If Titans as a concept never existed in the minds of the Alliance's authorities, then it would happen due to several things to logically explain this alternative. The first one is that the war dynamics between the Alliance and ISOTOILETs would be much more different at the start of the series. And that's why the Alliance wouldn't have to create some huge robots in order to keep their level of resistance in this war. So maybe if G-Man would be absent from the series since the very start in a form of this gigantic toilet, the Alliance wouldn't have to create someone to match him and other enormous ISOTOILETs from the earliest episodes in terms of size and raw power. So let's imagine a scenario where G-Man, just like the original Skibidi scientist, would be of the same size as the regular ISOTOILETs in the earliest episodes. And well, to think about it, that would simply reshape the power dynamics of the whole series, and Boom wouldn't be able to make it look more like the next Transformers or Pacific Rim movies because he wouldn't have to anymore. And let's add something even more to it. If the ISOTOILET army would also pay more attention to sleek technological details instead of raw size and face-to-face combat, the Alliance should have done absolutely the same thing in order to match their dynamics on the battlefield. And now let me describe you the most possible scenario if the Titans never existed. G-Man was the same size as Skibidi Scientist, and both parties of this war would be more technologically and intellectually advanced since the very start of the series. In other words, both would work smarter, but not harder. So first of all, every time a new Titan appeared, the power dynamics between the Alliance and ISOTOILETs shifted drastically. For example, when Titan Cameraman appeared in episode 18, he sort of balanced out the cameramen that didn't have any major complex machinery yet, while Skibidi Army already got some gigantic toilets to destroy the whole cities. Then by the time Titan Speakerman appeared in episode 26, the Alliance got actually more powerful than their opponents. But that was once again quickly resolved with the strategy of Skibidi Scientist, who infected the second Titan and basically pulled him to his own side. And that major power imbalance caused the new race in a form of TV men to appear ASAP in order to help cameramen and speakermen. And it also didn't take long for the new Titan TV man to show up as well. And since this time, both the Alliance and ISOTOILETs underwent their biggest technological upgrades from the first half of the series, which continued developing in the later episodes as well. So how would the Alliance compensate the power imbalance if Titan cameramen never appeared in episode 18 at all? There is the first option. If there would never be the big boys acting in ISOTOILET series, then both sides at war would focus more on trickier strategies, smarter technologies developed, and not just bold face-to-face confrontation, but like stabbing in the back and catching enemies off guard instead. Oh, yeah. And there would also be one really important component. When the Titans were doing all the hard work, they were fighting mostly alone in individual fights as big fries, while the rest of the Alliance's support had their own missions and territories to guard or attack. That's why we usually see classic action ISOTOILET episodes divided like this. A smaller group of cameramen and speakermen agents arrive on the battlefield and starts the fight with the semi-power balanced toilets. Then a bigger buddy shows up and scares the heck out of the regular agents. And in order to compensate this bigger enemy, one of the Titans appears and often single-handedly deals with that fry. But if we'll exclude the Titans and huge toilets, then the alternative fights could look like this. Now it's focused more on strategy, tactical maneuvers, smart technological tricks, and teamwork among regular-sized Alliance members. Now it's the regular agents with their upgrades and unique machinery that matter the most, and not just one or a few Titan to solely rely on in order to win a fight. So without the Titans, the Alliance would need to rely on smartly advanced technology. This organization would instead double down on cutting-edge gadgets and tools, like the short-distance teleportation devices similar to those used by TV men, or smart zappers for overhearing their enemies' plans from the distance, instead of sending their own troops that could be exposed and turned to a literal roast beef afterwards. The absence of Titans would also cause the whole Alliance to upgrade weapons for speakermen and cameramen much sooner it was done in the actual series. And perhaps the Alliance could also develop tech similar to what made the Titans themselves so powerful, but just on a smaller scale and distributed among all soldiers. For example, let's talk about the cores that usually only the Titans get. And even though Boom still hasn't revealed to us all the lore hidden behind those cores and also about different types of energy powering us those cores that different races use, let's still assume one thing. What if in case of the Titans' absence, the regular agents, or at least the elite agents like the Terracotta Brothers, would receive smaller versions of such cores for themselves? It would really boost up their powers on the battlefield, or maybe grant them some unique or hidden abilities, which would help them to immobilize Skibidi toilets in various ways, and not just in open combat. And overall, it would be really cool to see more lore regarding the core's nature exactly, and also the energy that makes them so freaking powerful. And this question became even more important to me after the whole arc involving G-Man, Titan TV Man, and the core screwer from full episode 77. But I already talked about it in detail in my other video, so let's not stop at it here. What I would also love to see, in case of the Titans' absence in the series, is more attention to overall Alliance's teamwork and different strategies. We could have observed more coordinated team efforts, which in my eyes equals to more crowded fights with complicated structure, where more than just one squad supports the leading team of fighters and the whole battlefield is on literal fire. Such squads could operate like highly trained strike forces, each specializing in defeating different Skibidi toilets or Astro toilets when they appear as well. This approach would also make the battles feel more tactical and grounded, by which I mean that with Titans, everything looked just one big badass scene from Transformers or Pacific Rim movies. Big guys are dealing with other big guys, and after all, Boom himself confirmed that he was inspired by those two franchises a lot when he created the concept of the Titans. But where the beauty of coordination and strategy in all this, though? What about the guerrilla warfare juice? Because without Titans to dominate large-scale battles, the Alliance would have to adopt more hit-and-run tactics, sabotage missions, and covert operations. Smaller forces with specialized roles could slowly chip away at the Skibidi and Astro forces in the long run. So without the big guys, the Skibidi Toilet series would actually focus more on complicated but more realistic fights, which could be a real treat for MMO strategy players or something like that. You know. And as I started speaking about the lore already, I believe that with less focus on the gigantic fights, we would receive more lore parts too. The Alliance could also prioritize examining the defeated toilets more in order to develop a cure to neutralize the Skibidi virus. And we could also learn about Astro Toilet's origins already as well. And contrary to that, we could see more scientific work from G-Man's and Skibidi scientists' sides as well. Because as I said in the beginning of this video, they would already be pretty damn smart since the start. Okay, and now let's answer the final question here about this alternative universe. Would the Alliance actually have the chances to succeed and even win the war with Skibidi/Astro toilets without the Titans' help at all? In my opinion, the victory without the big boys would definitely be more challenging and painfully slower, but not impossible after all. Boom could shift the series' tone from the absolute epic spectacle to a more realistic and lore-driven scenery, which would find its loyal audience as well, although it wouldn't appeal to the mass audience as much, I believe. It would also provide more opportunities to develop the regular Alliance's characters early and made their plot arcs deeper, because more focus could have been on that instead of pure fighting. So what can I say here? The Titans certainly served a key role in the series as they were shifting the power dynamics between the two war sides, so their absence would create room for a more grounded and strategic story which would showcase the Alliance's collective efforts against all the possible odds. But I am also more than sure that it would be a completely different Skibidi toilet experience. After all, it would contain less massive clashes the majority of fans are actually watching it for. And what do you guys think? Would you actually watch Skibidi Toilet so obsessively if it didn't contain any Titans at all? And that was all for today. Write in the comments below your own opinion, as I am always interested to read what my viewers think. And be sure to subscribe to my channel not to miss my new videos, and also to my Discord where you can contact me directly and get lots of info for my subscribers only. And that was me, ISOTOILET. See ya!